Hi everybody, my name is Marika Taron and I'm going to take you through the training for the questions related to alcohol intake and alcohol regulations. As you all know, it's very important for the participants to feel at ease when you are asking them these questions, because these questions can be a little bit sensitive to some people, or they may feel a little bit shy to share this information with you. So what I found worked for me when I did some field work in the past was that I would declare to people before I ask the questions that I do not want to make them feel judged, and so I would say to them that I'm only going to respond with a yes or a no or an okay, and I'm not going to say anything about their responses, because sometimes people expect you to actually say something, and then you kind of, if you haven't said to them that you're not going to say something, it might feel a little bit uncomfortable. So I like to say to people, I'm just going to answer with a yes or no or an okay, and let's continue like that, because I don't want you to feel judged, and I want you to give me the correct or not correct answer, the answers that are true for you, because we want to know what is really happening, and that's the information that we want in this study. So, and on the other side, you can still show empathy, but not with judgment. And empathy means, you know, when someone is saying something and you can see it's painful for them, to listen and nod and show understanding, but not to respond with any comments about it. I think people feel, you know, they can actually feel that you're showing them empathy. And especially if you've said beforehand that you do not want to say, you're not going to make comments, then they understand why you are not saying much. And that is what we should do as field workers, so that we can get the best information possible. Lastly, before we can start our questions, we need to confirm confidentiality with our participants. So we would like you to say the following words. Please know that the information you share with us is confidential, and there will be no repercussions of the information you share. So we urge you to please be honest. No information will be shared with your parents or school or your family or children. Thank you. So this, in brackets, you can see there that we've indicated that it depends on where you are, because this questionnaire is going to be asked in the school environment of adolescents, and also in the adult environment or at home of adults. So depending on where you are, you would either say no information will be shared with your parents and school, or you would say no information will be shared with your family or children. And this should help the participants feel at ease and know that the information that they're sharing with you is going to stay confidential. Okay, so now we get to asking the alcohol intake questions. You would then say, now I'm going to ask you some questions about your use of alcoholic beverages during the past year. And before we can ask the questions, we need to explain to the participant what is meant by one standard alcoholic drink. And you will see that we have a card that is indicated on the slide, and on the next slide is a bigger version of this. So let's have a look at the bigger version. Here we see the picture card of the size of one standard alcoholic drink indicated. So you can see that we've got a small glass, can of beer, carton of home brew or commercial sorghum beer, and the amount of each one in terms of the volume is indicated for each one. So to explain this to the participant, you should please go through this picture card with them just so that they understand how much is meant by one standard drink or one standard alcoholic drink. So just show them in the picture card that one 340 ml can of beer is one drink, a small glass of wine is 120 milliliters or nearly half a cup of tea, that's one alcoholic drink. A tot or shooter glass of whiskey, gin, vodka, liqueur or aperitif is also seen as one drink, and one carton of 500 milliliters, which is nearly 2 teacups, or a small bowl of sorghum beer is a standard drink. So they just need to keep this in mind when they answer the questions in the survey for alcohol. Now we have the second question. How many drinks containing alcohol do you have on a typical day when you are drinking? So this is important. Each of the drinks in the picture is one drink. So that is your picture card of the alcoholic drinks. How many drinks containing alcohol do you have on a typical day when you are drinking? 1 or 2, 3 or 4, 5 or 6, 7, 8 or 9, 10 or more. So this means, let's say they're having a braai, and at the braai they're having drinks, and this is seen as one occasion, and this person might have 10 or more drinks on that occasion, or they might only have 1 or 2 drinks at that occasion. All right, and then circle the corresponding answer number. Then with 1.3, you must please take special notice of asking the males their specific amount of 6 or more, and females a specific amount of 4 or more drinks. So let's say that you are interviewing a male, then you would say, how often do you have 6 or more drinks on one occasion? They would then answer never, or less than monthly, or monthly, whatever the answer is, and you circle that answer. If the person is female, you would ask, how often do you have 4 or more drinks on one occasion? Here you can see the rest of the questions that are asked. I'm just going to go through each one of them with you. How often during the last year have you found that you were not able to stop drinking once you have started? So this would mean someone would be at a braai or be at home, and they start drinking and they carry on drinking alcohol, and they carry on drinking alcohol, and they cannot stop. So you're asking them how often do they do that, and they can then give you their answer. Is it monthly? Is it weekly? Is it every day? And you could circle the corresponding answer. So let's say this person said every day they drink until, and they cannot stop. And you can then circle the correct or the corresponding number. And once again, if they say something like that, please make sure that you do not make a comment about it. You just say okay or yes. In 1.5 here, how often during the last year have you failed to do what was normally expected from you because of drinking? And this could be things like someone started drinking and they forgot to pick up their child, or they at school, or they didn't do the dishes, or they didn't go to work. And so the answer, and you can then circle the corresponding answer question, a number. How often during the last year have you needed an alcoholic drink in the morning to get yourself going after a heavy drinking session? So this would be someone that has had a lot to drink the previous night, and the next morning they wake up and to get themselves up and going, they have another alcoholic drink to go to get themselves awake or to start doing whatever they want to do that day. Once again, circle the number corresponding to their answer. How often during the last year have you had a feeling of guilt or remorse after drinking? Circle the number that they say. How often during the last year have you been unable to remember what happened the night before because you have been drinking? Once again, if someone says every day, you circle that and give no comment or judgment on whatever they are saying. Here we get to the end of the alcohol intake questions. 1.9, have you or someone else been injured as a result of your drinking? Their responses could be no, yes, but not in the last year, yes, during the last year. And you can circle these corresponding to their answer. Has a relative or friend or a doctor or another health worker been concerned about your drinking or suggested you cut down? Their answer, and you circle the number. At the end, you see here is a total score, and what we would like you to do is to add up the numbers of all the answers that were given and write down the total here as indicated in that red. In this part of the questionnaire, we see that the question is, how far is it to the nearest shebeen or other place that sells alcohol from your house? So this can be any place. It can be a Spar, Tops, it can be Pick and Pay, bottle store, any place that sells alcohol, whether it be out of someone's house or out of a supermarket. We want to know how far is it from their house, the nearest one to them. And we want you to make specific note here that we want to know the distance in meters or kilometers. And if a person doesn't really know, then you say, well, you know, approximately how far is it from your house? Is it 500 meters or is it a kilometer? Just give an idea of how far they think it is from their house. We do not want to ask them how long it takes to get there, but how far it is. So please only write down the actual distance that they are from the nearest place that sells alcohol. In the next question, what type of alcohol do you usually drink? And here they would give us the one that they drink the most, usually. So let's say someone says beer, then you circle beer. And then the next question is related to that first, to this question above. What brand do you usually drink of the alcohol chosen? So this person might say Black Label beer. or whatever it is that they have indicated they drink the most, please ask them and write down the brand name that they usually drink. In the next part of the alcohol survey, we are trying to find out what people think of alcohol regulations and whether they want them to be stricter or not. So here we see the question, and what you should state is, now I'm going to read a couple of statements to you about alcohol regulations that could be put in place in South Africa. Please indicate your opinion of these ideas by indicating your agreement or disagreement with the statement. So for each statement, you will see below it there is numbers, and correspondingly it says strongly agree, agree, not sure, do not agree, or strongly disagree. So the first question is, I would like the South African government to implement stricter alcohol regulations in future. And the person can give their own comment. And then we circle the one that they say. So this person in this example said they agree. The next one, I would like alcoholic beverages to be taxed higher so that they are more expensive. In this one, the participant said not sure, and we circled not sure. I would like the government to restrict the opening times of outlets that sell alcohol to only be open from Monday to Friday. In this one, the participant said do not agree, and we circled that one. Here we get to the last few questions of their perception of alcohol regulations. I would like the regulations to state that blood alcohol level should be 0% for people who are driving. This person said not sure. I would like the regulations to state that people are only allowed to consume or buy alcohol when they are 21 years old. This person said agree. I would like the regulations to control the marketing of alcohol to prevent alcohol advertisement to children. This one said do not agree. So the participant may ask you, what do they mean by advertisement to children? So it could be advertising alcohol in a form of putting up posters near the school for alcohol, or it could be that an alcohol industry is paying for a sports event, and their marketing material is then distributed on the sports day or something like that. In 2.7, I would like the regulations to prevent outlets that sell alcohol to be within 1 kilometer of a school. And this one circled strongly agree. Here once again we have a total, and we would like you to please add the numbers at the end according to the responses given. So 3 plus 4 plus 2 plus 5, and we write it down at the total. Thank you very much for helping us with this survey, and please note that you are very important. Your job is very important, and it is we are very grateful that you are doing this for us. And please make sure that you are constantly making sure that you are not judgmental when people give you their answers, so that we can get the best answers and the correct feedback from our research. Thank you very much.